Okay.
Hi, I'm Dina and this is Carol, and we're just going to go over our Sebastopol Grange food evolution in the last 5 years of different food programs we've had.
My friend Dina came to me about 5 years ago and said, hey, how about if we create a space to bring our extra produce that we all produce in our gardens each summer and have a way that we can share that so that we can share the abundance and also get some things that maybe we don't have in our own gardens. So that's what we did.
So in 2019, we started small, just a couple times a month. We would bring our produce and we'd have a community bulletin board, and we'd donate all the extra produce that was not exchanged at the end of the time period to our local food pantry or others in need. And so our produce became the produce exchange / donation. And that was 2019, but then came the summer of 2020.
Well, everybody at the Grange was concerned about obviously COVID, and everything was being canceled. And they came to us and said, so are you guys canceling the produce exchange this year? And we said, no, we're not. We can do it outside. This can be one Grange event that brings people together. We can be outside. We're going to ask people to wear masks like people did at the farmers market. And we can come and be part of the community together.
And it became a very social thing because there wasn't much to go to, but a couple times a month you had the produce exchange / donation, and we saw musicians show up. We saw all kinds of people that just wanted to socialize. So it became good for our health, not only the good food, but just being with each other.
And also because people were in place, sheltering in place at home, gardening was like a big popular item during COVID. So we definitely got a lot of response starting in 2020.
Yes. And one of the things we always have tried to do is to partner with other organizations in our community. Sebastopol has a community seed exchange with a seed garden, and through our association with them, we are able to provide local good seeds to those gardeners that wanted it during our produce exchange.
And this is just another way to sort of encourage people to share the resources that we have locally, and to be able to start plants from seed, which is more economical, and especially because the seeds are given out for just like donation. So really trying to enhance our local resources.
And this is just a view from our side yard at the Grange. So right before dusk, it's just beautiful there. It's a great time for a produce exchange and a little social.
So because people started growing more, the people who came to the exchange also started sharing plant starts. So not only did we have excess produce and we had seeds, but now people brought plant starts, which was really great because people could get a plant at the beginning of the season, and then they could bring the produce back later in the season from something they'd gotten early on.
Another of our community partners was the UC UC Master Food Preserver program. And these food preserver experts showed up at every produce exchange, offering advice, giving samples, making sure people canned and dried and made recipes to save that were based on science, keeping everyone healthy. They became an integral part of our group. Here we have more starts that are available, more socializing.
And also sort of trying to get donations. Certainly we've been encouraging folks to share donations to help support the Grange. And also we were able to, because of our collaboration with the food preservers, we were able to make a donation to their organization this year.
So it feels very good, spreading food, a little bit of cash, good cheer. socializing, community. So good that we said, okay, we've got to meet during the winter too, just at least a few times, because people in the winter are getting ready to pick which seeds they're going to plant. There's those of us that have citrus or greens, so we have produce to trade for. It's really fun to see people all bundled up. We were used to seeing them in their shorts in the summer.
And as you can see, there's plenty of an abundance of citrus as well. So wonderful to be able to distribute that out to the community.
And there's always a few early starts for people that have greenhouses and want to share early on. They're like, I have too many of this, that, or that, this.
And also herbs. People were bringing herbs, yeah.
And then we kind of accidentally blossomed into something we call Tend and Befriend, where we showed up at each other's houses when we were in need to help harvest or build new produce boxes and for a family that moved into a new house and wanted to start a garden. And by the way, they were eating out of their garden by summertime, thanks to a head start with getting garden boxes built and a compost area in their yard. And always end with fun food socializing time after work time. Another Tend and Befriend project, a wood entertainment center at a senior's house, was turned into a gopher-proof produce growing box.
So yeah, you can see we've even got, trees. We've got a Japanese maple, it looks like, and some other things. So again, the produce exchange just keeps expanding.
Musicians show up and keep us entertained.
We've learned about some new different varieties of things that people have grown that we didn't know about before, or how to cook certain things.
Like this heirloom Italian squash that you could eat both as a zucchini or a winter squash if you leave it in your garden longer. We learned from our friend that donated those. We've got new kinds of limes that we all thought were little tiny tangerines.
There's some more of those crazy squashes. And something that we also try to share is beauty. And so it's always nice to sort of bring some seasonal flowers, just make little bouquets that people can just take and have some colorful cheer in their lives as well. Or a bouquet of parsley.
There's our view again from the side yard of our Grange. People were very creative when they didn't have enough produce and they really wanted to share. Our friend here would bring dried seaweed. Some of our friends would ask, how do I cook this, or how do I grow this? And branch out in their own gardening and cooking.
Again, people just sharing whatever it was that they had that they thought could go.
And every time we got an article in the newspaper or people told other friends about the produce exchange, we would get an influx of new people. This was a box we put together for somebody in the community that we knew they weren't at our exchange, but they could definitely use some produce. The master food preservers kept coming back, sharing their samples and recipes and advice. So this past summer in 2023, we started a new program with them where there were 4 scheduled demos of food preservation in our kitchen of the Grange.
So the first one was making kimchi, which was really fun.
Very popular.
Dilly green beans, salsa.
And there was also a fruited kombucha we didn't have a picture of.
So then that led us to yet sort of another offshoot, is what we call the root cellar. So it's kind of like our underground market for some of our Grangers who and friends who are farmers and actually sell some of their items. And so we're having people, we're inviting people to come and offer their wares, flowers, eggs, bulbs, and other things, and to also promote their gardens and farm stands for a donation.
And we were doing that before each general Grange meeting. So there would be an opportunity for surplus to be put out and given to the community, and a donation was made to those gardeners and farmers, as Carol mentioned.
So that that has expanded, so that what you're looking at right now is you're looking at a Google map of what we call our Grange virtual farm. And each of the pins is those of us that have kind of signed up to be part of the virtual farm. These are our locations. And so what I want to do is I just want to read the statement about the Grange virtual farm, because this statement kind of clarifies a little bit more of what that is. So our mission is to create an economy of abundance. We will do more good, grow more food, create more beauty, thus creating stronger community, resiliency, and biodiversity. For our farm, we imagine a network of growers joined together in a virtual farm, a farm in essence. The essence of what we envision is a community of growers, from people who have a few potted herbs to people who have multiple crops on acreage. We are joined together by choice to make a community where knowledge and supplies can be shared, as well as the abundance of produce and ornamentals. Each of our locations for growing are real. Each can be placed on our virtual farm map. No street address is shown. We can come together in person for joy, work, learning, sharing, and building resiliency and biodiversity. Collectively, we can start to think of ourselves as a farm, as we are all tending the land in our disparate locations. We can add up our separate parts to find out how large our Grange virtual farm can become. Times have changed, but this is how we are a farm in the 21st century. When we inhabit a collective farm mindset, we can start to feel the impact we are having on our local community. The Grange has historically been a group of those in agriculture and farming. And in this present time, we hope to help reimagine our Sebastopol Grange to go beyond, to unite us in growing more food, beauty, community, resiliency, and good. And Dina and I last year each kind of recorded how much food we were growing in our own respective gardens. And at the end of the season, we realized that we had grown a lot.
Thousands of pounds, just in gardens, not even on farms.
Just in gardens. So, I mean, you grew like over 1,000 pounds and I grew almost like 900 pounds. So that's almost a ton of food just from our 2 gardens alone. I mean, it was unbelievable. We had no idea.
So our virtual farm is just growing organically, so to speak. So we don't know where it's going, but we do enjoy conversing with our other members. And we did have an opportunity to provide almost all the food for the State Grange Convention lunch in September of 2023. And from our gardens and farms, our virtual farm members were able to supply our chef for the afternoon lunch with the produce and the meat.
So we were pretty proud of that. So we feel like in the 5 years that we've been doing this, we've really, from one little table in the front lobby of the Grange to all these many different programs, we feel like we've really had a positive community impact.
And we'd love to talk to anybody that would like to talk to us and see how any of these ideas might be used in your community and spread. So we will put up our contact. And in the meantime, thanks for listening.